How childhood affects life and relationships. Most people believe their adult relationships are shaped by choice, chemistry, or fate, but the truth is far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. Long before you ever chose a partner, your nervous system already decided what love would feel like. Attachment theory isn't just a psychological concept. It's the invisible blueprint that determines who you're attracted to, how you react to closeness, how you handle conflict, and why certain relationship patterns keep repeating no matter how much you know better. Your childhood didn't just influence you, it trained you. And unless you become aware of that training, you will unconsciously replay it for the rest of your life. Attachment begins before memory. As infants, we are biologically wired to attach to caregivers for survival. We don't choose how we attach, we adapt. If care is consistent, soothing, and emotionally available, the child's nervous system learns a simple truth. I am safe. My needs matter. People can be trusted. But if care is unpredictable, emotionally distant, critical, or overwhelming, the child learns a different lesson, not consciously but somatically. The body learns whether closeness feels calming or dangerous, whether expressing needs leads to comfort or rejection. These early lessons settle deep into the nervous system and become automatic responses that shape adult behavior without permission. This is why attachment theory is not about blame. It's about pattern recognition. A child has no power to change their environment, so they change themselves. They learn strategies to maintain connection at all costs. Some children learn to cling, to overexpress emotion, to stay hyper-aware of others' moods. Others learn to suppress needs, to self-soothe prematurely, to become independent long before they're ready. Neither strategy is wrong. Both are intelligent adaptations to emotional conditions that required survival. The tragedy is that these survival strategies often become obstacles in adult relationships where survival is no longer the issue, but intimacy is. Secure attachment develops when a child experiences caregivers as emotionally responsive and predictable. This doesn't mean perfect parenting, it means repair. Securely attached individuals learn that emotions can be expressed without fear, that conflict doesn't equal abandonment, and that closeness doesn't require self-erasure. As adults, they tend to feel comfortable with intimacy and autonomy. They can ask for reassurance without shame and give space without panic. But secure attachment is not the default. It's the exception. Many adults carry insecure attachment styles without ever realizing that their relationship struggles are rooted in childhood adaptation rather than present reality. Anxious attachment develops in environments where love was inconsistent, sometimes warm, sometimes withdrawn. The child learns that connection is unpredictable, so they become vigilant. They monitor tone, mood, distance. Love feels uncertain, so they chase it. As adults, anxious attachers often feel deeply, love intensely, and fear abandonment chronically. They may overthink texts, seek constant reassurance, and interpret emotional distance as rejection. What they're actually responding to isn't their partner. It's the original wound of unpredictability. Their nervous system equates uncertainty with danger, even when no real threat exists. Avoidant attachment develops when caregivers are emotionally unavailable, dismissive, or overwhelmed by the child's needs. The child learns that expressing emotion leads to rejection, discomfort, or burdening others. So they shut down. They become self-reliant, emotionally contained, and outwardly strong. But beneath the surface, their nervous system associates closeness with pressure and loss of autonomy. As adults, avoidants often crave connection, but panic when it arrives. They may withdraw, intellectualize emotions, or suddenly lose interest once intimacy deepens. Not because they don't care, but because their body interprets closeness as danger. Fearful avoidant attachment, sometimes called disorganized attachment, develops in environments where caregivers were both a source of comfort and fear. Love was mixed with chaos, inconsistency, or emotional volatility. These individuals grow up craving intimacy while simultaneously fearing it. They may pull partners close and then push them away, creating cycles of intense connection followed by sudden withdrawal. Internally, their nervous system is torn between attachment and self-protection. Relationships feel overwhelming, confusing, and emotionally exhausting, not because they want drama, but because safety was never clearly defined in childhood. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Attachment styles don't disappear just because you grow up. They mature with you. They influence your friendships, your boundaries, your communication style, and even your career. Anxiously attached individuals may overwork to seek validation. Avoidance may prioritize independence to the point of isolation. Fearful attachers may oscillate between closeness and disappearance in every area of life. These are not personality flaws. They are nervous system patterns formed before logic ever entered the picture. This is why people often feel like they are choosing the wrong partners, when in reality, they are choosing familiar emotional terrain. Anxious attachers are often drawn to avoidance because emotional distance feels familiar. Avoidants are drawn to anxious partners because pursuit feels safer than vulnerability. The chemistry feels intense not because it's healthy, but because it activates unresolved childhood patterns. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. The nervous system prefers predictability, even when it hurts. Childhood attachment also shapes how we handle conflict. Secure individuals see conflict as a problem to solve. Anxious individuals see conflict as a threat to the relationship. Avoidants see conflict as a threat to autonomy. Fearful attachers see conflict as emotional chaos. This is why the same argument can feel manageable to one person and devastating to another. You're not arguing about the present moment. You're reacting from an emotional memory your body still believes is happening now. Attachment affects boundaries as well. Anxious individuals may struggle to set boundaries for fear of abandonment. Avoidants may set rigid boundaries to avoid emotional exposure. Fearful attachers may have inconsistent boundaries, allowing closeness and then abruptly shutting it down. Secure individuals tend to set flexible, respectful boundaries without guilt or fear. Again, these patterns weren't chosen. They were learned. The most powerful realization attachment theory offers is this: your reactions are not who you are. They are what you learned. And what was learned can be unlearned. Healing attachment doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means teaching your nervous system that the present is not the past. It means learning to pause instead of panic, to communicate instead of withdraw, to self-soothe instead of self-abandon. Healing begins with awareness. When you recognize your attachment style, you stop personalizing your reactions. You stop seeing yourself as too much or emotionally unavailable and start seeing patterns with compassion. From there, healing requires consistent emotional experiences that contradict old beliefs, safe relationships, honest communication, boundaries that don't lead to abandonment, and vulnerability that doesn't result in rejection. Attachment can heal in relationships, but it cannot heal through the same dynamics that wounded it. An anxious person chasing an avoidant will not heal anxiety. It will deepen it. An avoidant withdrawing from closeness will not create safety. It will reinforce fear. Healing often requires discomfort, slowness, and conscious effort to respond differently than your instincts demand. Ultimately, attachment theory explains why love feels easy for some and excruciating for others. It explains why people sabotage good relationships and stay in painful ones. It explains why peace can feel boring and chaos can feel like passion. And most importantly, it explains that none of this makes you broken. You adapted, you survived, and now with awareness, you get to choose something different. Your childhood may have shaped your attachment, but it does not have to define your future. When you understand your patterns, you stop repeating them blindly. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What happened to me and how can I heal it?" That question alone changes everything.